break down the M.O.S right quick, because I felt like I get the picture and the POV that I'm trying to jump on. Look, okay, we do get the fact that, yo, this modern day thing of, streamers and human beings, regular human beings, being in front of all of this attention, right? Being in front of all of this attention, and you being in front of, the more attention that you're in front of, translate to, the bumping up of numbers, and that could translate to more cake, more cheese, more blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Now, pair that with somebody who's really an opportunist. Pair that with somebody who's an opportunist and is materialistic as fuck. Pair that with somebody who's an opportunist, materialistic as fuck, and you know what I'm saying? It does have a sort of, I don't know, like, bot nature to them, to a point where, bro, all I gotta do is just listen. All I gotta do is just see how the chat is reacting. All I gotta do is just make sure I entertain these people, because that's my lifeline. You know what I'm saying? I understand the type of psychology, the type of brain that something happened. Hold on. Okay. I thought something went wrong. But I understand the kind of brain that can develop. And with Wendy Ortiz, dog, I've seen this kind of thing where she also, it's the whole psychological attachment style that we broke down about Nina Lynn, you know what I'm saying, on my hidden psychology channel. You know what I'm saying? I broke down just like the you know what I'm saying, the psychological effects of this kind of behavior, like what kind of psychology produces this kind of behavior and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? We went ahead and researched, is it the anxious preoccupied attachment style. These things is like attachment styles where it's like, you know what I'm saying? You cannot really, you have to be performative. In other words, you really have to be performative, or else it's like the lack of attention that you get. It's like you're not enough. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It threatens your survival. It whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying, something along those lines. Let me just make, Copilot is gonna ask me to sign in, so it's gonna take a whole bunch of time. But like, yo, do your homework. If I got it wrong, just know it's along those lines. Don't quote me. But you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of degeneracy that Wendy Ortiz has been displaying, bro, ever since because I've been introduced to her through the collab that she did with Moon. You know what I mean? So they did that collab, and I was like, okay, cool. For a person like Moon to collaborate with you, I mean, he has his own just like, way of how his mental is formulated through, how this whole streaming thing has affected how he moves. You know what I'm saying? The people that he collabs with. So you really have to be a certain somebody for you to collaborate with that nigga. That nigga is about the bag as well. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, who is this Wendy Ortiz? Why is this nigga collabing with this girl right here? For me, and that's when I was just like introduced to Wendy, blah blah. I saw that, okay, this actually is not a genuine connection. First things first, boom. You know what I'm saying? Not a genuine connection. Number one, and number two, obviously it's about, the reach, bro. How the capitalization of the numbers, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Because she had a massive crowd by the time that she linked up with Moo. I feel like Moo saw that, was like, yeah, this could be valuable. You understand what I'm saying? So it's all of that. You get like minds that are just like shaped by all of that. You know what I'm saying? And now you get an individual as anxiously preoccupied as well, in terms of just like, man, let me just clarify that whole attachment style for you, bro, because I just want to be accurate and such. Please don't ask me to sign. Please, fuck, I have to sign in. Shit. Alright, give me a second, y'all. Fuck, give me a second, y'all. Just 1 second. Need to sign in, right? Because I just want to make sure of everything that I say, bro. I don't want to look like an ass. Because really, man, I feel like Wendy Ortiz really shares in this attachment style, and this is only a psychological development, psychological makeup, like how your psychology, is shaped up via the patterns of blah blah blah. Yo, let me let Copilot break it down. Copilot, what's good?
Absolutely. Let me jump in.
Yo,
it sounds like
yo, check it out. The psychological attachment style, anxious preoccupied. Break that down again.
Sure thing. So, anxious preoccupied basically means you're someone who craves closeness and worries a lot about your relationships. It's a type of attachment style. Let me know if that clicks for you.
Crave closeness, but you worry about relationships. Yo, break it down in the form of streamer and audience.
Alright, imagine you're a streamer and your audience is like your relationship circle. Being anxious preoccupied would mean you're always checking the chat, making sure everyone's still there, maybe worrying if they're enjoying the stream enough, if they're gonna stick around. It's like you're seeking that reassurance from your viewers constantly.
Do you know the streamer Wendy Ortiz? Are you familiar with her?
So Wendy Ortiz is actually a pretty popular streamer and content creator. She's
So
been
Wendy Ortiz for me is an individual. She, like, what she's giving to me is the type of individual that is preoccupied, you know, that has this attachment style of anxiously preoccupied, right? Because I feel like she does things for the chat, right? A whole lot of streamers do this. She does things for the chat. She oral forms for the chat. And she has to do this because ultimately it's her money. So would you say this is a correct analysis or close enough? I don't know. Is Wendy Ortiz, via my analysis, anxious preoccupied?
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty solid analysis. A lot of streamers do feel that pressure to keep their audience happy and
Thank you, my brother. Check it out, though. So, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, bruh, right? Obviously, she gets her information a lot from chat. Understand what I'm saying? And now, if I feel like, in terms of, look at how I'm breaking it down. Since both these people, Nina Lynn and Wendy Ortiz, you can tell me if I'm wrong, you can tell me if I'm off, you can tell me if I'm tripping, but this is my analysis. Wendy Ortiz, you got Nina Lynn, right? And then these people, as I said, according to my analysis, bro, they share the same attachment style, psychologically, anxious, preoccupied. So with this being said, it's like, whether it's subconscious or it's conscious, the actions that they exhibit may be influenced heavily by the chat, by the people that pay attention to them, by da da da. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, you'll get Nina Lynn is doing this because she's heavily influenced by that chat. That's why, you know, I don't know about her growth with her like viewership and all of that, but Wendy Ortiz, you know, somebody with a big viewership and viewer count, followership, and all of that. It's like, obviously that says something. So these people, since they share this kind of psychological attachment style, whatever, obviously they're gonna the chat is, you know what I'm saying, the chat is, they probably have like what, cross-pollination audience. Did I say that right? Like this audience and this audience kind of know each other, or they kind of just like overlap type shit, right? And with that being said, obviously whatever influences Nina Lynn is gonna influence Wendy Ortiz. Am I off? Am I tripping? Right? Bro, you see how Nina Lynn acts, bro. It's like the chat obviously kind of like defends her actions. That's why she keeps doing that. It validates her actions. That's why she keeps doing that. Now for Wendy Ortiz to have the mind to be like, nah, let me defend her actions in an angle where I echo what, you know, people that defend her echo, which is Ronaldo, Jason, y'all niggas women haters. That's the whole energy with both these people's communities, right? Like their core communities are, you know, guys that go against creators like our favorite creators, Nina Lynn and Wendy Ortiz. Guys that go against these creators, we always go against them at whatever cost. Like, this is the energy with these communities, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm concluding, bruh. Tell me if I'm off, please. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, do comment for the algorithm too. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But so obviously this, like, that's why we're hearing this kind of thing being defended or being reiterated by Wendy Ortiz, right? The fact that they are women haters, da da da. But I feel like with Wendy Ortiz though, right? She only does this when she doesn't, probably when her intention is not all the way acknowledged by maybe a male streamer. That's why she'd probably snap on a male streamer then and be like, because as we seen, bro, you know, with that whole begging for a collab from Ronaldo, you feel what I'm saying? And you know, everything was cool when she was also doing that collab with Moo. So I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. Her what you call this? Community, bro. I don't know, saying some other things, and then just the energy changed towards Moo, and it was like, understand what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where things is gonna like end up with more and more people having to be this way. Like, you know, the more the streaming thing grows, but obviously the bubble does burst. The ceiling the ceiling is reached at a certain point, and you can only have so many streamers. Not everybody can be a streamer, because who's gonna be the audience if everybody's the streamer, right? Type shit. You know, so with more, but as I'm saying, with more people that would be entering that space, imagine like the shapes of their mindsets and psychologies, like all they live for is this kind of validation, and if this is the result of everything, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying only females get affected this like this, you know, maybe males too can be on that kind of type time, you know what I mean? But yeah, we talking female streamers because this is the headline for Meezy right here. Moral of the story, I feel like would just be, yo, my boy, yeah, you need not be 1,000% honest with everything, because it's just that right there. You know what I'm saying? I just got here, bro telling me no, you cannot tell me what to do. Now that since you're here for the first time, you want me to stick to the topic, then why do you have the title as the title? Then if people are not supposed to just be here for the sake of the title, bro, what are we doing? Let me calm down, bro. I guess shout out my boy Side Speaks for the title, because it what inspired today's idea for my, you know, title theme. I guess using the whole POV of honesty, you know, to spot those that are unhonest. You know what I'm saying? Those that are untrustworthy, because you can only trust somebody who you believe is honest enough for you to trust. You know what I'm saying? I'm just spinning the whole thing so that my video doesn't have the same title as Saya's video or whatever. You know, I've got my reasons for that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, moral of the story. No, actually, I'm just gonna expand on the point that I was making, right? The fact that, yo, when somebody needs you to be 100% honest, so that they can kind of just like deviously, I don't even know if what I'm about to say is gonna make sense, but just like deviously use your honesty, right? Deviously use your honesty to just kind of like capitalize and extract value. You know what I'm saying? Like by deviously, I'm talking about, like, you know, today's technology, where you have minds and geek minds, bro, nerd minds that can put together, you know what I'm saying, certain algorithmic platforms that can mimic, aka generate AI, you know what I'm saying, replications of whatever you could see on, you know, you could see projected on the screen, bro. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, if I ask you to be honest with me, because I know that's what, I mean, I would only be asking you to be honest with me because I know that that's what sells, right? That's what makes it relatable with other people that may be viewing your channel or your content. So please be honest with me, right? And then you listen to that instruction, right? You heed to that instruction. You're like, alright, cool, let me be honest. And then, without you knowing that me asking you to be honest is me, you know, formulating a way of how I can replicate that honesty. You know what I'm saying? The characteristics or the characters, the mannerisms that this honesty is displayed, and that's through you, your mannerisms, your characteristics, aka your ideas. You feel me? and the habits that your ideas can give life to. You understand what I'm saying? And now, since I have that kind of data, I have that kind of information, I mean, you record yourself. So, aka people that create content, right? I'm telling you, yo, niche down on something. You know, niche down on something, double down, talk about it a lot. Talk about it a lot. Talk about it a lot. Yap about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just any angle of it, just like niche down and just talk about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, give me that 100% POV about that. Be 100% honest with me, so that I know what algorithm to create to replicate that. You know what I'm saying? AKA create an AI channel, maybe a faceless channel that can replicate those ideas or the themes that you can kind of like generate, so that, you know what I'm saying, since your method works for you and you can monetize that, I can create an AI, an artificially generating content channel that can just monetize for, you know, for me, while I just like run this platform, while I told you to be honest, so that I could create that honesty in another model to make myself money. While, you know what I'm saying, like that whole thing to me, like, I don't know why that just made sense right now, but that may be just like, you know what I'm saying, the devious strategic way that, you know what I'm saying, somebody who's dishonest in that way. Because me telling you to do that so that I can, you know, gain whatever I gain, you know what I'm saying, that's without you knowing, of course, that's like mad devious. You know what I'm saying? That's like dishonest. But look, I'm using my dishonesty, bro, to gain something. I'm using my dishonesty to advance myself. I don't know if I'm getting too deep for people, bro. But yeah, like in terms of this honesty thing, I don't know why my senses, you know, gravitated towards like this psyop or this thing that I'm now seeing as a psyop, you know, in niching down. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. And just doubling down on like what to force feed or overfeed an audience. You know what I'm saying? But then again, yeah, another reason for that thing could be, you know, another reason for just doubling down on a type of content is so that you know, cater to those needs, cater to the value that people could just like extract from you, you know, I don't know, giving them that information to begin with. But yeah, man, so I guess you can also use it to your own advantage, man. You know what I'm saying? Using dishonesty to your own advantage, using devious, mischievous dishonesty. You know what I'm saying? Hidden. You know, we talk about the hidden psychology of, right, untrustworthy people. You know what I'm saying? I get like, but for me, if you ask me, that could be a benefit if you know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? If you could use reverse psychology as what I just broke down right now. But then another thing that I think, yo, being too honest, being honest, obviously, you know what I'm saying, as a blanket statement is, you know, the better option. It's the better decision to make. You feel what I'm saying? But now, when we're talking about honesty in the sense of being transparent, being honest about all aspects of you, you feel what I'm saying? AKA being honest about your location. You know what I'm saying? You hop on a live right now and just be honest about your location. You know what I'm saying? Drop your low. Especially knowing, you know, today's parasocial society that can just like run up on you anytime. Especially, you know, with creators that think, nah, man, I am the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. I got all this clout, blah, blah, blah. I got all this love. Nobody can actually run up on me, you know, in person, physically. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, blah, blah. They only be saying and spewing all this hate online behind these keyboards. When they see me in person, it's all love. You know those kind of talks, man. Man. You never know. You really get the really degenerate one that really run up on you, dog. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, like, at least don't exist in that kind of bubble where, you know, you see a whole lot of examples where people have exposed their locations. And I'm only doubling down on this example of locations because it's the most It's the one that's like, regularly seen. It's the one example that's regularly learned from. Or even the artists that have like lost their lives because, some 304 that they've been messing with fucked around and exposed their live locations. People have literally, I'm not gonna dive in too much detail into that, but people have literally lost their lives because of just like being too honest in that sense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the hidden psychology developed in untrustworthy people, bro. I guess in the sense of this example of, what I mean, being too honest to a point where it's to your detriment, where your enemies can literally, play with you. I guess it's a benefit. Like I guess it's something positive to learn from people who who are untrustworthy. You know what I'm saying? The ones that would like expect you to be an honest person, but just run up on you and just violate you on some shit. What else, man? Nah, I guess anything further than that, man, y'all leave it down in the comment section, dog. Like, yeah, y'all leave it down in the comment section about what you think. At this point, I guess we were just breaking down the positive and the negative of just, the psychology of just being honest or dishonest or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But my ADHD friend over here, let me just allow him to.
I was in 2019 at a cash register.
Cool. M.O.S. Moral of the story. Yo, how old is this misgift guy? Right? Because I'm telling you, bro, the older you get, the more you understand how, because your mind starts to understand things in a deeper way, right? So you can strategize things a little bit more. You can take a tool, you know what I'm saying, of a tool that you've never used before. You feel what I'm saying? You can learn about it. You can learn how to operate the thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, bro, it's another way of how we could utilize something for like in a constructive way type shit, right? And obviously now that you've discovered that, it doesn't mean like you've had the love for that tool your whole life, bro. You just bumped into this thing, but now you know what I'm saying, you've discovered a way of how to just like, what the hell is wrong with my co-pilot? Are you good, brother?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks
so
look,
I'm breaking down.
Up a bit. Let me know how I can.
No. The thing is, do you know Miskiff, the streamer?
Sure. So Mizgiv's been making some waves lately. He just introduced a new girlfriend named Juice on an Instagram reel.
Yeah, I see.
Had a playful "I'm gay" joke at the end, leaving.
Are you listening to me, bro? Can you hear me? Yo, this
Absolutely.
nigga is
So
tripping
Mizgiv's
out, dog. Are you, bro? Are you cool, nigga? I'm talking, bro. I'm the one that asking the question here. You are the one that's doing the shut upping and the listening. Are you understanding me, bro?
Absolutely. I hear you loud and clear. I'm all ears, so just keep going and I'll be
Nah,
right here.
I think something's up with my boy co-pilot. Anyway, bro, how old is Miskiff? That's the only question I wanted to ask before you literally crash out on me.
So Mizgif is 30 years old as of 2025.
Years old
He was
as of
born on
2025.
February 16th.
February 16, 19, blah blah blah. So he's a millennial. As I told you, bro, the older you get with this thing, bro, it's the more strategic you can get. It's the more, it's the more, I feel like your imagination with things that matter really comes alive. Whereas by things that matter is literally how we can grow, nigga, monetarily. You know what I'm saying? On something, because that's how we fund our lives. That's how we survive. That's how we fund ourselves. That's how we measure. Either here nor there. That's a debate for y'all. Y'all put in the comments whether it's wrong or right for us to even measure our level of success through our numbers game. You know what I'm saying? Our pockets and things like that. And streaming does become that the older you get now. That's what I'm saying. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't think, like, for example, I don't think people would be doing it, as frequently as they're doing it if it wasn't for, the numerical incentive in the thing. You You feel what I'm saying? The numerical just optic, the numerical result that we can get and that we can use in terms of like growing a bag, getting a bag or something like something, you know what I'm saying? And that does matter. Grow up and then you'll realize that. Grow up, you'll realize the importance of that. And I want you to understand me. I'm not saying when you grow up that's all that matters. I'm saying you finally know how to make it matter, dog. You feel what I'm saying? And by you knowing how it should matter, like you growing your bag, you get into the money. You know what I'm saying? It's like you master the whole that world of like how we can grow numbers, while you can take that whole principle of how we can grow things and extrapolate it onto other areas of life. That's what grown people do. You know what I'm saying? And then what doesn't work for you, you just throw it out. Fuck judging it. Fuck talking down on it, this, that, and the third. So if you make things about the numbers, just it just means you're probably millennial. Or Gen X or some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then that's cool. You feel me? You're just more grown up now. You're thinking about life a little bit more seriously, of which you should. Right? But then again, since this part is a segment for the Gen Z, for the crowd that's getting into even tapping into making this thing a career, right? Content creation, streaming, all that kind of jazz. You know what I'm saying? Again, bro, for me, it literally goes down to just like where you're from, bro. You know what I'm saying? Where you're from. It's not too okay. I'm talking about in terms of the streaming part of reality. Yeah, some parts of the world, bro. I'd say some parts of the world are only warming up to that reality of streaming, of how people can even make money. You know what I'm saying? How because a whole lot of this thing is fun, right? Of which it should be. It's fun, and that's a blessing. That's a gift. You know what I'm saying? For it to have that element to it. But man, again, bro, where you from, man? Your geography, because that could determine how much fun you get to have. You feel what I'm saying? The demands of the environment on your energy can determine how much you get to have, because the demands of your environment, aka your responsibilities, it could be a lot, man, when you're from an area where it's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? The economy is fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the freedom to do what you want, say what you want at whatever time that you will. You feel what I'm saying? For you just to survive, it's like you have to give much more of your energy. Feel me? And you know what I mean? The compensation for the same amount of energy that you give, maybe if you're in an African part of the world versus in a freaking Australian part of the world, or a European or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like the same energy you put in is not. Y'all could put the same energy from these two parts of the world, right? But then the outcome is different, maybe different, very different. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, with that optic being put out there, it's like, think about that. You feel what I'm saying? That determines how much of us get to have fun and how much fun we get to have. You feel what I'm saying? And so therefore, that's why somebody from pressurized or a part of the world that's like pressure, it's like I can only look at something like Twitch as an opportunity to make money so that I can get the fuck up out of where I'm at, before we can see it as now it's fun. Now, oh shit, now it's about idea generation. This idea looks fun, that idea looks, because the pressure of constantly worrying about money is not there. I got some now. Feel me? There's that. But then again, at the same time, there is the POV where it's like the more you get, the more you want. So you do also have the kind of mindset that like, yo, yeah, we are grown. We are at a privileged part of the world, right? The privileged part of the environment where, okay, this Twitch thing is a thing. It has an industry. It has awards. God damn, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, people live off of this thing, right? But then at the same time, it's like, okay, now that we're here, we still want more, right? You gotta get to the top. You feel me? Like, 50,000 views, or a viewership of 50,000 in the thing. Oh shit, that's cool. But let's try aim for 100k. 100k, yo, let's go 150, yo, let's go 380, nah. 740,000 people. 740,000 people in the chat. We have to bump it up to 1 million. Shout out Kai, Mafia-thon. What? Nah. You know what I'm saying? I could only imagine like what Kai's new goal is with this whole thing. You feel me? So in those part of like the world and things like that, you can have people who also feel like it's not enough where we at. You gotta take it to the tippity top. Still keep climbing type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's like a whole bunch of directions that this whole thing can go. But everybody goes through the same pathway, right? It just depends on the timing of when you will go through it, as you know, per your generation and how your generation is handling this whole thing, aka in this instance the content creation world, the content creation reality universe and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where I'm from, people are still just like crazy about just like, oh, the YouTube verse. Oh shit, damn, everybody's just only tapping into just creating content, you know, for YouTube and little you know, longer form videos, longer than your TikToks and things like that, right? And still, I don't think enough people are going at that, because people are still not seeing kind of mentality do you think this kind of thing builds in the people that, number one, look up to niggas like this? You feel what I'm saying? And in the mentalities of like, number two, people that are on this side, you know, the employment side, the regular civilian side of things, and we're actually looking at these brothers as placeholders to be like, yo, as long as I continue my little journey, nigga, continue kicking my little shit, bro, I'm gonna get there. Look at these boys. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is a selfish point that I'm making right here. My bad. I have to. I literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, okay, DDG, for example, like, this nigga be live on Twitch a lot these days, right? We know this. If you know, you know. If you don't, do your homework. Tap in. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I've been seeing him a whole lot on the live. You know what I mean? This nigga would be like cooking up music, bro. Real, like fresh, hot and fresh and steamy little shit. You know what I'm saying? Live on stream. I'm like, what? This kind of value? My niggas? You feel me? This is special. It feels special. It feels cool. Understand what I'm saying? So there was value in that. So I would look at that and be like, yo, this and this is one thing that you know, made an artist, a hip hop artist such as DDG, stand out from a whole bunch of niggas, right? Is the fact that he's not, well, he came about he came up on the scene as being a content nigga, right? Content, right? With the little videos, I think skits, I think things like pranks, things like whatever the case, right? All that kind of thing. But he literally kept to his loyalty, you know what I'm saying, for the music thing, to a point where even that aspect of him like just blew out of the water. You feel what I'm saying? And what I wanted to highlight in that is the fact that, okay, since he came up as this kind of artist from the first place, right? He can partake in like the content space of today, right? The live streaming thing where it's like, yo, I do this. I'm a content creator. I'm a live streamer, bro. Like, why not just like, you know, stream my studio sessions? You feel what I'm saying? Artists like this, they make this thing fun, bruh. You know what I mean? And another thing that I realized, bro, just with me consuming the kind of artists, the kind of music that I do consume, you feel what I'm saying? You don't, like, these guys don't even have to be the best, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be the most number one, you know what I'm saying? 100 million. Oh shit, my bad. Had to clear that out. Clear my throat, pause. Yeah, you don't have to be like the greatest, most amazing, most perfect, but like, grab the people's hearts, bro. Grab the people's attention, grab the people's focus, grab the people via inspiration. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like this nigga, you get all that kind of shit, that entertainment, that engagement. You feel what I'm saying? For the fact that he live streams his studio sessions a whole bunch of niggas in the West are starting to do this, but in most parts of the rest of the world, they're not. You know what I'm saying? Recording live on stream, that is. You see what I'm saying? I see a whole bunch of underground artists or whatever like that going onto streamers like Blackboy Max's platform and recording a whole bunch of things, right? Even Burna Boy was doing this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? They're in the booth by Blackboy. So you feel what I'm saying? Wait, I think the whole Nasty C thing. What the fuck is it doing, nigga? You know you're not supposed to go on without me, nigga. You just gotta remain in the background with your little chicken, nigga. Eat that, gulp that. Nah, my bad. You know what I mean? Like, niggas like this, they make this whole thing fun. They make this whole thing worth engaging in. Is my whole main point. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why, even with people like me, bro, take this background song that's in the background. Right now, it's like elevator music. I have a kind of a different vision for my music. But you feel what I'm saying? The fact that I'm... Who the fuck asked you about your music? It's like, yo, my bad, like... I didn't even know people didn't give a fuck that much about my shit. Like, literally. I got a whole bunch of songs on my shit, like, channel, da da da. You know what I'm saying? I just decided to utilize it another way. But the whole being loyal to that whole thing of doing it, continue to do it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm actually, I've been for the longest right now contemplating on just, like, doing the whole in the booth thing. You feel what I'm saying? Start creating on camera. Well, eventually, the goal is to eventually do it on live stream and shit like that. But obviously, I still got to test comfortability levels and shit like that, right? And convenience levels and quality level. Ooh, quality? Come on, boy, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Don't play with that. We got to, test all of that kind of shit. And I'm finna dive in. I ain't gonna lie. I'm finna dive in. And so, you know what I mean? That whole, like, decision to just, like, keep at it like that. Even to this point, I mean, this content creation thing, recently I started it. But the music, it's been years, bro. And obviously, I've been looking at these North Stars as people like these artists, like these brothers of mine, right? Like these neighbors right here. You feel what I'm saying? Be like, oh, damn, and they be dropping fire shit, fire stuff on top of that. So that makes it even worth, like, going for, like, you feel me? And just worth listening to. Like, keep listening to that shit. So that, the seed inside of people, regular civilians like me, who, this shit never worked out. Now you had to go ahead and, do your regular 9-to-5 shit. You feel me? People like me can, like, at least still keep that seed there because it's more than just, like, blowing up, bro. That's why okay, now, subjectively talking, that's why I feel like I even made the decision to do things like record, like, this song in the background. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I know that was a little bit awkward, but you know what I'm saying? Deal with it, nigga. You and my motherfucking, you are under my roof, sir. You deal with everything that I express. But now, anyway, you know what I'm saying? For niggas like me to be like, yeah, bro, let's keep doing it. It's fun at this point. And shout out my man Moo, bro. Like, he dropped Moo. He recorded Moo. I think that's the artist name that he wanted to go by with this recent live stream recording of an album that he did, bro. That shit was fire. Nasty C, bro, same effect, my boy. And another thing I do got to take into consideration. Oh, can't even talk. Let me slow down my my yappery for a second. Both of these men are dads. Right? Both of these men are dads. So I understand, pulling moves like let's try to get a stable job. Maybe this might be stable, maybe not.
I really tortured myself in my sleep. Woke up and I pushed through, and I'm just grateful for this. And this was the last one, so I appreciate everybody for this award. Thank you.
This category celebrates the most.
Look. I'm not gonna lie though. I don't know how I feel about the streamer university in terms of, the more and more years that it goes on and on and on. It might be formalized. It might actually literally be like a formal qualification. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm super nervous when things have to get to that part of formality, because if you think about it, because look, I tapped into like the streamer university, for example. I tap into it for like entertainment. I tap into it for just to see how all these streamers collaborate with one another, just like interact with one another. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that alone could just signify the advancement of this industry, which is streaming. You know what I mean? Because here's a point that I was trying to make in saying I'm nervous for formalization of just making it a formal qualification for people to be streamers, like qualified streamers, and have that maybe be part of the education. Like that would be worst case scenario anyway. But it's like, why I'm saying I'm nervous for that is because this shit is growing, bro. I was not aware that this is the fifth edition of streamer awards, bro. I thought this was like the first thing. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to people like a Kai, like a I Show Speed, like these people that are just at the top of the totem pole with this thing. You understand what I'm saying? The people that are the leaders of the game. You know what I mean? Those people, I understand, more than them being, yes, inspirational, or however you might see a Kai or I Show Speed. They are also pawns, right? They have to be pawns. They have to be objects that are being used to grow an industry. I'm not saying that in any negative shade or any negative energy. That statement does not go, you know what I'm saying, with any type of smoke. Because I mean, you have to. It's a good thing to have new industries, bruh. You understand what I'm saying? We live in a very big world that has, more space to advance, bro. And the more and more existing industries, existing structures become obsolete, the more and more there's a need for new industries. You know what I'm saying? That's why I champion the whole streamer thing, bro. Like the streaming thing, I bumped into just like being familiarized with streaming. Like regularly, well, it's the regular situation where, pandemic, you know what I'm saying, the Ovid whole situation, and then obviously everybody's in front of their devices, everybody's in front of the net. That's when I bumped into it, this whole streaming thing. You feel what I mean? And as with everybody else, it's just like something to pass time while we in the crib type thing. And now it's really an industry, bro. There's like awards to this thing. There's like probably charts, right? There's charts to this thing. Maybe like I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing where you can literally look at it in the lens, of saying a kid might just choose it as a career path, and the further time goes, it's gonna be a formidable, like as in like a respectable, recognized career path. And now think about it, for the older generation, the people that raised millennials, the people that raised the Gen Zs, those are older people now, maybe in their maybe 40s, 50s, you know what I'm saying, middle ages, whatever the F, you know what I'm saying. The youngest maybe people to raise Gen Zs might be like late 30s type thing, you know what I'm saying. So they're older, they're not too tapped in with this whole streaming thing. So for them to hear their kid be like, yo, mom, dad, I want to be a streamer, there has to be something that's just like formalized this thing, right? That's a good thing. To me, that's a good thing for it to be recognized, so that parents don't have to be on their kids' ass about like, what do you mean streaming? What do you mean online thing? What do you mean blah blah blah? There's examples like Kai's and Speeds and da da da. You see where I'm going with this. There's these examples where there's these Grammy-esque. This feels like the Grammys, man. Y'all see everybody dripping this mug. Everybody's just like, clean and all of that. You get things like this where a kid can reference their parents like, look, mom, this thing is mad respected. These people are making mad bag. They making mad bank. You feel me? So obviously for that part it's good, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm very nervous of that because it might reach obsolescence real fast. You understand what I'm saying? It might reach obsolescence real fast. Whereas now people might just want to go at it for the qualification. Do away with things like the talent. They'll do away with things like the raw skill, things like the raw just like heart for this thing. You understand what I'm saying? The very same way that I believe the education like it became like that. It became just like a regurgitation of just information that are just recorded in textbooks and black and white, theoretical, this, that, and the third, and for people to just regurgitate that. Make sure that you remember that regurgitation for the test, and then once you pass the test, man, here you go live your life. And the second you get out in the real world, all of that stuff is forgotten. You feel what I'm saying? And for this new emerging industry, the streaming thing, for it to get to that, it would be, I'm not even gonna say it would be a sad thing or it would be a disappointing thing, because that literally would be history repeating itself, and that's nature. That is nature. You know what I'm saying? I mean, summer literally comes and goes each year. Like, that's the nature of nature. You know what I'm saying? So it would just be an interesting observation to like see it play out in that sense. But then at that moment, it's like, what would this streaming thing mean? Where would that raw, organic, just, you know what I'm saying, that organic love for it, like, what would it mean? You know what I'm saying? What would it mean for you to love this thing, like, for real? That's like that's just like the POV. I'm just, because I'm watching these awards, I didn't watch the whole thing. Like, literally, I just saw the title right here. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Let's see Kai's wins, right? Let's see, what he won there by the streamer awards. But yo, like just me tapping into this clip right now has just got me thinking about all of that. Because look at the music thing too. In terms of winning a Grammy, like, think about how valuable winning a Grammy is these days. It's damn near not even that valuable anymore, like, if you ask me. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Just because of how just, the energy around just music creation, music consumption, music generation, and all of that, and just like, everything that's attached to just like what we deem the best and what we deem the highest on the board, the highest valuable thing about this thing. You know what I'm saying? And how we scale that value. You kind of just look at it with a side eye these days. Be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, it is what it is.
Entertain.
But the value is just gone, right? Alright, back to it though.
Unique and memorable live events streamed in 2025.
Hey, why is this nigga cheesing like this, bro? For no reason. Is he reading the teleprompter? It must be a teleprompter.